So, I don't think Valentine kidnapped Spencer Cassadine. I don't think he did. It's too obvious. Valentine being the person who kidnapped Spencer is way too obvious. Valentine is a smart person, and I think he realizes that if he were to kidnap Spencer or do something to Spencer, he would be suspect number one. He would be at the top of the suspect list because there's nobody else who would do it. Spencer didn't have any enemies in that town other than Valentine, so I don't think Valentine did it. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. It's way too easy, and it's a pretty much an open and shut case. It's way too. It's too simple. This show doesn't do simple. They do dramatic. Um, as usual, I'm sick and tired of Nathan and Nina. I have zero use for Nathan and Nina. I just find them completely boring. Every time they get together, they have the same conversation. They talk about Valentine. They talk about Man Landers. They talk about Maxie. It's the same shit, different day. It's boring. I'm surprised Obrecht even went to Crimson looking for a job. Like, what the hell could a doctor, of ex-doctor, basically do at Crimson? I'm not even gonna call her ex-doctor because it's like, even though she lost her career, she lost her medical license. Once you're a doctor, you're a doctor. That's just the way I see it. But I really don't see what she would have to offer at Crimson. I think Nina felt the same exact way. Like, it's a fashion magazine. What the hell would you hire a doctor for? What can she contribute? She obviously knows pretty much nothing about fashion. What could she possibly do for that company? I don't know. I just don't see it. It's like, what can you possibly do? And besides, Obrecht is pretty much hell bent on revenge. I'm happy for Finn though because his drug test came back negative. He's been reinstated. The townhouse that he was gonna buy for him and Hayden fell through, but he does have a lead on the new house, which is good for him. Um, but it's obvious that their happiness is not gonna last too much longer. I was happy that Elizabeth and Griffin and Monica threw that party for Finn for him coming back to the hospital. It's been a long road for Finn. It has been. Trying to detox, get clean. Then he had to deal with Brad. He had to deal with Obrecht. It was a lot to put up with, but he made it through. But we all know, I know, his happiness with Hayden is definitely not gonna last. Obrecht probably thought that the party was for her. But Hayden had to set her straight real quick. And basically, Hayden gave Obrecht her severance package, her severance pay. Obrecht was about to tear that shit up. She was about to literally tear up her severance pay. I was looking at her like, are you fucking nuts? You just lost your career. You really want to tear up your last paycheck from that hospital? Are you crazy? You have to live off that, you nutcase. But Obrecht decided not to tear it up. Smart move. Instead, she's basically gonna look for revenge on Hayden and Finn. So we already know Hayden is definitely about to lose the baby. There's no way she's keeping it. Obrecht is definitely not going to allow that. Not gonna happen. Um, so basically, no, not Spencer. Laura and Kevin basically went to Dante trying to get him to open up an investigation on Spencer's disappearance. So he had to track Valentine down and question him. Nathan was questioning Nina about the night Spencer was at Windermere. Apparently, they have a witness who saw Spencer being dragged away at the park, and they said that the description fits Valentine. I don't believe it. Honestly, I don't believe that Valentine kidnapped that kid. I think it's way too easy. I think either Nicholas has something to do with this. I don't think Nicholas is coming back to the show, but they could easily mention Nicholas and not actually show his face. But I know Nick Stabile, who played Nicholas last year after Tyler Christopher left, he did say he would love to come back as Nicholas Cassadine. So you never know. Um, I wouldn't mind him coming in as Nicholas, me personally. But stranger things has happened. Um, you could tell, like Laura, she is pissed off. Laura is over this shit. Like she is stressed to the max. Like it's the anniversary coming up of her son's death. Spencer's missing. Valentine's walking around. She is stressed the fuck out. Like I could tell that by looking at Laura's face. Like she's over this shit. I could tell she just want to kill Valentine. Like seriously, and I wouldn't really blame her at this point. I wouldn't blame her. You gotta do what you gotta do. Definitely can't blame her. I mean, it's a lot of stress. So Julian goes over to Alexis's house to ask her to be a witness for his defense. Alexis is apprehensive about it, but once they do like a mock trial where she asks him a bunch of questions and stuff like that, I mean, you could kind of see that the jury would believe Julian because I believe Julian. He would never purposely try to kill Alexis. I doubt it. Um, Olivia was threatening him. She was threatening his family. He thought he had to protect his family. Um, he went about it the wrong way. I think he definitely should have clued somebody in, maybe the cops. You know, let them know they could have set up they could have set up an undercover, like an undercover sting. Um, Me personally, I want Alexis and Julian back together because I think that they're the better couple. I like the chemistry between Nancy and William. Like I think they make a good couple. I always was rooting for them from the beginning. So I definitely would have a problem with Alexis and Julian getting back together. That's if William DeVry is staying with the show, because at this point it's looking like he's not. But you never know. He might sign a contract at the last minute. I would hope he would stay because I think this is like the best relationship Alexis has had in a long time. Um, Despite what happened last year, um, I prefer them to stay together. Julian obviously does care for Alexis, obviously. So I wouldn't really mind them being together. Um, I mean, some people can't look past Julian's crimes or whatever, but I feel like he was blackmailed, he was pressured into doing it, so why not give him a pass? But Alexis did get a letter from the prosecution saying that she's been subpoenaed to be a witness for the prosecution now. So she probably has no other choice but to get on the witness stand and be a witness for the prosecution. But I think if she just tells the truth, I think Julian will get off. Um, I think he definitely will. And of course, back at the police station, Nina is basically still campaigning for Valentine. She's still on Valentine's side. Um, Nina, it's obvious Nina wants to be back with Valentine. She keeps putting up this front like she's not thinking about going back, but she know that she is. The only reason she's not is because of Nathan, because he keeps trying to talk her out of it. But she knows she really does. Um, Overall, this was a okay episode. It was a little dull, but it was okay. Um, Hopefully tomorrow's episode is a step up. Hopefully, but anyway, it was a decent episode.